You're watching surveillance video of an actual car theft in progress.
Oh, man.
It's 10:30 p.m., and police have left this vehicle unattended on the side of the road. The crime is being taped by a hidden camera inside the vehicle that's so small, it's nearly invisible to the human eye. A hidden microphone also catches every word. Suddenly, the engine stalls. The doors lock, and police rush in. You've just witnessed the bait car in action, one of law enforcement's most advanced weapons in the fight against auto theft.
It's a vehicle that is wired so that we can control the movements of the vehicle.
As police prepare the bait car for its next mission, they give world's most special access to see how this unique automobile will capture crooks.
It is a remote mechanism that we use to stop the car, and then we can remotely, almost like a television remote, just turn the car off. In other words, we cut the electrical impulses to the engine. Car stops.
Okay, engine's killed right now, just by the touch of a button.
Once the engine is killed, the doors automatically lock. A tiny video camera and microphone hidden in secret areas that we can't reveal record everything. This footage is later used to convict the suspects in court.
We have these prosecutions. They're what we call in the industry the slam dunks. Because if they deny, no, I didn't do it, all we have to do is merely show the videotape that we produce from the vehicle because we have the hidden camera in the vehicle.
Hey, put your hands up! Hands up! Hands up!
And though it's never happened, if the suspect manages to drive the bait car away, a special tracking device linked to a satellite enables police to find the car anywhere in the country.
The general profile is basically the same.
Officers taking part in today's sting are briefed.
Yes.
Then the bait car hits the streets.
Let's be safe out there.
First, an undercover officer drives the bait car to an area with a high rate of car thefts. A single surveillance vehicle follows. Then a second officer approaches. The two pretend to be a couple who abandoned their car during a fight. This routine draws attention to the bait car and prevents thieves from being suspicious.
What do you want?
My sister, get out!
Man.
Come on! I don't care about this. Get out! Get in the car!
We ought to get an Oscar for that one.
That was good. Okay, unit's car's been dropped. Stand by. I think we might have some activity.
Nearly a dozen squad cars, both marked and unmarked, surround the car at least 4 blocks away.
Looking into the car right now. Stand by.
We can't show you the color or make of the bait car. Word spreads quickly on the street. If its identity were revealed, the car would be rendered useless.
Suspects just walked away from the vehicle. There is no activity now.
Now we'll talk about it for a few minutes. Come up with a game plan.
The suspects are tempted, but they don't bite.
Okay, units, we're going to close this one out.
You're going home. Come on, that's it.
I don't
You're
want
not going to be
to
going partying. No, you're not going to be partying. You're going home.
It's a completely different story at a later stop. Watch how the undercover officers have barely driven away before the suspects strike.
The keys will be left in the car. The thieves will get in the car, drive it off. As the car leaves it, we'll let it go approximately 100, 150 yards, and then we'll disable it electronically and remotely.
Now comes the fun part. The bait car's version of Candid Camera shows these thieves at their worst. Watch as this suspect takes incriminating evidence out of his pocket and stashes it under the seat. And this driver loses control of the car. He actually hit a house. The force was so strong, the airbags were deployed. And this suspect punches his way to freedom. proving that some car thieves can be as violent as many other criminals. In fact, 7 out of 10 suspects trapped in the bait car are wanted for or have been convicted of other crimes.
90% of our arrests actually result in either guilty pleas or guilty verdicts for felonies.
So the next time a criminal decides to steal an automobile, he better be ready for a long trip. Because a joyride in the bait car may park him directly in jail.
We're going to take you to the police station, so we're going to take you.
From the back streets, we move to the backwoods to witness the latest high-tech methods to capture suspected poachers. As night falls, a truck approaches. The driver spots a lone deer on the side of the road. He climbs out of his truck, aims his rifle, and fires. But there's a problem. Hunting season is over, and this man is poaching, a very serious and expensive crime.
The illegal wildlife trade worldwide is a tremendously big problem. I don't think most people realize, but the illegal trafficking of wildlife worldwide is a $4 billion a year business. That's second only to the illicit drug market.
Another reason that hunting must be strictly regulated is that if poaching is allowed to go unchecked, it could result in the collapse of many animal populations.
He's getting ready to shoot.
Back at the scene, the poacher takes a second shot.
Identify yourself, tell them to stop.
That's when officers rush in and bring the crime to a halt. Amazingly, the animal is still standing. A lucky doe? More like a bionic Bambi. Meet the animatronic animal that's helping wildlife officials snare illegal hunters.
Poaching and other wildlife violations are an act that occurs when nobody else is around usually. So it's hard to find out when somebody does violate the law. We have a camera there in many cases, we have witnesses, and we catch the people violating the act.
Mechanical decoys, like this one in Phoenix, Arizona, have been in use around the country for years. They not only help nab poachers, but also hunters breaking other laws, like shooting from inside their vehicles.
You stop, looks like you're gonna shoot.
Arizona Game and Fish Department, cease fire! Hands on the dash! Hands on the dash!
I'm going to issue you one citation, that's shooting from a motor vehicle.
They also stop another dangerous and illegal practice. Pavement poachers, shooting their weapons from the side of the road. The decoys are made of metal and polyurethane, so that arrows can be easily removed. And bullets pass through without causing any damage. The skins come from animals that are already dead. Head and tail movements are operated by remote control from up to a quarter mile away. As for the sting, it works like this. A safe location is chosen away from the public. Officers then secure the area by setting up 3 positions.
It's good. Usually there'll be 2 to 4 officers there. We'll have a video crew if we can. We usually have a chase vehicle in case somebody tries to run off on us. It just takes a while usually to find a good and a safe location.
Next, the robo-deer is put out to pasture.
How's that?
Then the officers wait. It doesn't take long for a greedy hunter to fall for the lifelike decoy. Once he takes his shot, officers move in. Sometimes it takes a while for the poachers to realize they've been had.
It's amazing how people, especially the archers, when they're shooting with a bow and arrow, when they shoot 7 or 8 times and the deer never even moves, it makes you wonder how they can take so long to figure out that it's actually not the real thing.
With the crimes caught on tape, these are tough raps to beat.
Stop shooting arrows.
We have about a 97% conviction rate from those that are cited for violating various offenses.
Game and Fish Department, stop shooting!
And the success rate is climbing. Because mechanical deer aren't the only animals getting into the act. There's also fake turkeys, counterfeit pheasants, a family of forged coyotes, an elk that's hard to miss, even a fierce black bear to tempt poachers looking for an easy kill.
Most of the people out there that we encounter are good, honest sportsmen. Only a very small percentage of people are the people that are violating our wildlife statutes.
So suspected poachers, consider yourselves warned.
That's a fake. That's a fake. Guns down.
Mechanical decoys are saving animals and costing illegal hunters millions of dollars, proving that even in the wild, a little technology can go a long way. Ogden, Utah. This man is about to take a different kind of fall. He may look like he's bringing home the groceries, but in reality, he's setting up a lab to produce methamphetamines, or meth, a highly addictive drug that kills thousands of people every year. Worse still, the demand for meth is growing, creating a serious threat on our streets.
It's worse than crack cocaine, and it leads a lot of folks to situations of crime, violence, psychosis. It's a devastating impact on people.
The trail of death and destruction starts in the meth lab. That's because some of the chemicals used to create meth, such as Freon and denatured alcohol, can be highly explosive, as shown in this government test. No one was injured in this blast, but 1 in 6 meth labs burns or blows up.
I hate meth labs. Meth labs are the scariest places in the world. There are far too many things that can go boom when you're in there.
This real-life meth lab, hidden inside a recreational vehicle, is being videotaped by a concealed camera. Undercover agents, posing as dealers, help the suspects set up a hose to vent the killer fumes. The suspect begins measuring out his first ingredient. About to weigh the next chemical, he's spooked by a noise outside. His fake partner reassures him, and he goes back to his dangerous work. Now it's time to begin mixing the hazardous chemicals. But agents can't let the suspect continue without placing their own lives in jeopardy, so they storm the lab.
Police.
No! No!
These are the sounds of a man who knows he's headed to prison for a long time.
Well, I think law enforcement's got a very important challenge here. It's not only criminal behavior, it's also one of the most dangerous environmental hazards and hazards to human health and the family we've ever encountered.
To see firsthand the hazards of narcotics, witness this surveillance video of a wife and mother allegedly snorting drugs in her own home. Her husband, Kirk Mergler, is suspicious of his wife's behavior and fears the worst.
There's all this strange activity going on at the house with things disappearing, people coming over the house that I didn't approve of, that were obviously associated with drugs.
And I've done about 2 rounds myself. I still have that much left.
That's really good. That's really
Good line?
Yeah.
Kirk knows that it is time for a divorce, but to win custody of his child, he needs proof of his wife's suspected behavior. So Kirk installs a tiny video camera in the door of the safe in his office.
I placed that in my safe, looking out, where she spent a lot of time in my office when I was at work, so I knew that would be the best place for it. Just like a Mission Impossible movie. As soon as she'd leave on a regular errand or what have you, I'd hop in the attic and run the cable and hook up the camera and have it all cleaned up by the time she got back.
From the very first day, The images that it captures make his blood run cold.
The first video I saw, I was shocked. I was glad I finally had some evidence of what was going on. It wasn't just her calling me crazy for me going, hey, what's going on with our marriage?
Things quickly grow even more disturbing. Watch as his beloved snorts her drugs on the desk. Then allows their son to play in the same location.
It only takes a little speck of methamphetamine to affect someone, and not to mention a small child.
Kirk also captures his wife's phone calls to a lawyer and discovers that she's secretly cooking up her own plans for a separation.
No, I don't want him to know that I'm even thinking about a divorce. He doesn't know yet.
A different phone call to a friend reveals that her chosen tactics won't be found in any law books.
I try to get in it, but he wouldn't do it.
I don't know.
All I need is for him to hit me. One punch. Get out of here.
But the biggest shock is yet to come, when Kirk discovers that his loving wife is involved in a tax scam against the federal government.
A while back, I filed I was involved in a scam, and it was against the government, and filing on dead people and collecting the tax checks and treasury checks when tax season came out.
The wife has hidden incriminating documents in Kirk's safe that prove her guilt in the scam. She's desperate to break into the safe before her husband discovers them. She even brings in a friend to help.
How does this thing open to take and do the combination?
It doesn't do the combination, just pushes the buttons and it opens up.
Oh, really?
It used to be a combination, but you put this over it.
Before she can successfully crack open the safe, Kirk takes his evidence to the authorities. His shocking footage is enough to secure a divorce, gain full custody of his son, and see his not-so-devoted wife behind bars.
I hate him, I hate him, I hate him, I hate him.
Due to the videotape, it did lead to her conviction for 9 grand theft felony counts, and all I did was turn the tape over to the Treasury Department, and they took care of the rest.
Kirk Mergler's wedding nightmare is over, thanks to the advantages of surveillance technology. But Kirk is now bitten by the surveillance bug, and with a partner, he creates efficient technologies.
We did take lemons and made lemonade with the situation that I was dealing with. Currently, we have a successful hidden video surveillance business.
The tiny cameras Kirk sells are hidden in almost any item imaginable.
This is our wireless cellular phone camera.
The images they capture are then transmitted to a monitor or VCR.
This is one of our hat cameras that's wireless. It'll transmit a signal anywhere from 1,000 feet to a mile down the street. This is the world's smallest video camera. We call it the Sugar Cube.
Even remote-controlled toys get in the act. And with the technology advancing by leaps and bounds, you never know who might secretly be taping you.
Out of a pager, I can transmit over a mile. In fact, currently right now, I'm videotaping you on this pager right here.
Well, you videotaping me?
Out of this pager in that little hole right here.
You've been taping me the whole time?
The whole time. It's really exciting where things are going, because I know in the future that a camera will be on the head of a pin.
It is miniature video technology such as this that brings another criminal to justice.
The good spirit is with us right now, and so is the evil, okay?
You're watching an exorcism unfold on a tiny surveillance camera.
Your husband is above us right now, and the evil spirit is around us as well, okay?
But this ancient rite is also a felony in progress. The woman in black is a phony psychic. For weeks, she's been scamming this widow out of thousands of dollars in cash and jewelry by pretending to help rid her of evil spirits.
Now I need you to be strong, okay?
Today, she's shown up for her biggest take yet, $10,000 in cash left by the victim's deceased husband. She won't be using any weapons for this crime. She's trying to steal it while performing the ceremony.
The victim in this case got smart. When she asked for the $10,000, the victim contacted the police department, the Vice Squad, and the Vice Squad set up a video and audio tape operation in the victim's home.
With the money on the coffee table and 3 detectives hiding in the next room, the swindling psychic launches into her routine. First, she pretends to catch the evil spirit in an egg that she instructed the victim to leave under her bed for 3 days.
You can see how she conducts this exorcism, the egg that is taken out, and she wraps it in the paper towel. And she goes up and down her body and is chanting and going through the whole routine.
When the psychic cracks open the egg, she sees something moving inside. She pretends it's the so-called evil spirit.
We believe it was by a sleight of hand that she had in her hand an embryo of a chicken or a salamander. And what she did was she throws it on the ground, and the embryo is moving on the ground.
Oh my God, it's alive! Do you see what it is?
And that's when you see on the video, she says, "Do you see it?
Do you see it?
Do you see it? That's the evil that was possessed in your body, and now I've captured it."
All the evil and negativity is in there. Do you have a problem with that? Tell me right now. What? This money, you have to sacrifice it.
The psychic tells the widow that she must take the cash out of the house immediately.
All right, listen to me carefully, okay? I have to go and do a ceremony for the understand at midnight. Okay? I have to go and be sure that faith is no good, okay? Can you sacrifice that with a good heart?
Once the psychic takes the money, the police get ready to make their move.
At the point in time when the psychic reached down and took the money from the coffee table, that is when the larceny took place. There was a taking of the money, at which time the crime was committed.
Fearing that the con artist is escaping with her inheritance, the widow cries for the police to stop her before she can get away. Outside on the street, the thief is captured by waiting officers and placed under arrest. Looks like the only evil spirit being exorcised today is the deceitful psychic.
The tables were turned on the psychic in this case, and it was a good feeling.
Long Beach, California. An apparent murder victim lies in a vacant lot. Police are on the scene, and so is the grieving widow. It may look like another tragic crime in a violent city, but it's not. One of the first rules to remember in an undercover sting: what you see is not always what you get.
Truly narcotics.
It all starts several days earlier at the Long Beach Police Department. Sergeant Walter Turley receives a tip that a man arrested for burglary is trying to bargain his way out of jail.
Thank you. So he, in turn, told the burglary investigator that he was contacted by some people on the street to do a hit to actually kill this other guy who he knew.
If God gives these gifts to edify...
Meet Reverend Charles Pritchett, the other guy the informant says he's been hired to kill. And the people putting out the contract on Pritchett's life? His own wife and stepson, who are after his $100,000 life insurance policy.
The lady was greedy. I mean, would go to any extent to take from others, not just me, but anyone.
The police videotape a meeting between the informant, the wife, and stepson. The conversation they capture ends any doubts about their true intentions.
So you want him killed? Took out. Don't beat him up and then like that, just blow his head off. We can get out and get some donuts.
With evidence in hand, officers stop Reverend Pritchett on his way to work.
Then they approached me and said, "We got some good news, and we got some bad news. The good news is we're at the Long Beach Police Department. Bad news is your wife wants you dead."
He was visibly shaken up, as expected. I mean, here you are, you've had this relationship with your wife or your girlfriend, and all of a sudden you're looking on videotape and you're hearing her actually wanting to kill you.
Well, I'm telling you, as soon as he comes in contact with him, you better kill him.
Police are eager to arrest the wife, but to guarantee a conviction, they need more evidence. So they devise a plan to fake Pritchett's murder and hope that her reactions will further incriminate her on tape.
So the next morning, we took him to a vacant field, and we created a crime scene much that a person would assume he'd been shot. We went and got some ketchup. We put some dirt on him. We put some ketchup out of his mouth and some twigs on him. We laid him down and took a few shots of him to appear to be deceased.
The following day, officers recreate the crime scene one more time, complete with real cops. Then Pritchett's wife and stepson are brought in. They're told they need to identify a vehicle found at the scene.
Is that car familiar? That's his car.
She's shown the photographs of the Reverend's body in the field. Her reaction reveals a con artist at her best.
He's got a picture he wants me to have you look at, so you can identify the person. If you could take a quick look. More kind.
She put on a pretty good show. She broke down and crying and just, further substantiated the idea that she was going to carry this thing out.
Wanting to take the sting one step further, the officers ask the wife and stepson to return to the station.
So, ma'am, we'll have you go home as soon as we're done there. But we need your assistance to be able to catch people that did this.
Once there, the sting is brought to a shocking end. Shocking, that is, for the wife. She has no idea that her husband is waiting in the next room.
You're going to be placed under arrest for solicitation for murder for hire.
What? That's a lie! How does that work? I haven't been nowhere. I go to work and come home. I'm with my kids. I'm at work. That is it. That's all I do. All I do is work.
Ma'am,
that is it.
I sympathize with you. However, we have evidence.
And at this point, they allowed me to stick my head into the door.
Second of all, hang on. Your husband's not dead.
I can imagine. He's not.
No.
He's not. John!
Come on. Ma'am, you're under arrest for solicitation for murder for hire.
I didn't. I worked with my husband. I went to the man. He'll tell you I've been doing things to help keep us together. Why would I go do something like that? I don't even have anybody.
I would have paid $1 million again to see that face, the hollering, and the drama. Again, just a Hollywood production here.
You have the right to remain silent. You understand that?
Yeah.
All of the videotape combined is so incriminating, the wife and her son are convicted of conspiracy to commit murder without ever going to trial.
I want you to repeat with me this thought that came to me. Mama can't give,
Mama can't give,
and money can't buy.
money can't
Amen.
Today, Reverend Pritchett has a loving new wife and family. Together, they work hard to put this nightmare behind them.
I would definitely not be here today if it had not been from the intervention of God in this team. Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Amen.
Amen.
It's one that I'll never forget. It was a Academy Award presentation.
Not all stings go as planned. Some have frightening results. The video you're about to see involves a real shooting, and therefore is all the more disturbing. Parental discretion is strongly advised. In a Kansas City motel room, a surveillance camera rolls. The man relaxing on the bed is really an FBI informant, waiting to meet a major drug dealer. In the next room, a team of heavily armed FBI agents stand ready for the deal to go down. The informant will live. Despite the close range, he's lucky to suffer only a shoulder wound. But the drug dealer is not so fortunate.
The rip-off drug deal is the ultimate nightmare, where someone comes in, shakes your hand, and pulls a gun out and starts shooting, because they're planning to go home with the dope and the money, and if they have to kill you, that's what they're going to do.
Lucky for the informant, the drug dealer is a terrible shot. Due to the fast action and clear minds of the FBI, a cold-blooded murder is avoided. But the threat of violence is an everyday reality in the world of stings. The next video you're about to see captures that reality with shocking detail. The undercover postal inspector sitting just off camera is waiting for a drug addict fencing stolen checks. A hidden backup team waits nearby.
Hey, Frankie. Hey, the guy, he turned in the other one because he got tired of waiting, man.
Suddenly, the drug addict surprises everyone and does what an agent fears most. He pulls out a loaded gun.
You know what? You give me all your money, I'll blow your head off right now. Give me it.
The inspector stays calm, knowing that the sooner he gets the gunman out of the car, the sooner he'll be free of danger.
You got it. You want the money, you got it. And you call, man,
but the gunman springs a nasty surprise.
Turn the car and take me out of here. Take me out of here. Hold on just a second. I'm not going to shoot you, but you're going to take me to Potomac, okay? To Potomac? Where? Potomac and Austin.
If the inspector drives away, he'll lose his backup and have to face the gunman alone. His only hope is to distract the junkie by continuing to talk.
Yeah, so just be cool for a second and we'll talk about it. Shut the up and move the car before I shoot you in the stomach. You got it. You want to move? Yeah, we're moving. This is a federal case, these checks. Who
the inspector's life now depends on one thing alone, getting out of the line of fire.
Point that thing away from me. You're making me Nah, I'm gonna put it right here. That's it. Let's just go, man. You're gonna shoot me. There's gonna be a million I don't give a I'd rather have that than the federal case.
With time running out, the inspector makes a daring play for the pistol.
No. Point the thing away from me. I'm cool, all right? Put your hands that way, boy, because if you even dare get this way, let's go, man. Just drop me off at a dope dealer. Okay, I'm taking you. Just stay cool, all right? Put your hands away from me. All right, then just put that... all right, put that gun... Let's go. Said you were cool.
The gunman shows how desperate he truly is.
Man, you're getting me mad. And you're getting me mad. Just...
He's even willing to shoot himself through the arm.
He's gonna shoot through my arm and through your body, all right? Okay, you got that. All right, then. All right, then just stay cool, all right? Just stay cool. Okay. All right,
What's amazing to me is at the end of that, the guy just drops the gun. There's no shootout or anything, because I would have guessed that there would have been. And it surprised me that that didn't turn into a bloodbath. And it's only because of the skill of that undercover officer that it did.
Okay. All right, you get out. Get the
These two gunmen are caught red-handed when they attempt to rob this TV repair shop. What they don't know is that their two victims are cops, and they've stumbled into an ongoing sting operation designed to recover stolen electronics.
They got the word on the streets, y'all got thousands in here.
If they discover that these so-called TV repairmen are actually undercover officers, this stick-up could become a bloodbath. Despite the danger, the cops maintain their cool and their cover.
It's just a TV shop.
But they remain in dire jeopardy. Even the backup officers hidden next door are helpless to do anything without putting the undercover cops directly in the line of fire. The hands of the officers are tied behind their backs with electrical cord.
They ain't got no pistols in here or nothing.
Just like that, man. Just cameras.
I probably got more money than y'all. Probably.
These gunmen mean business, and their hardware backs up their threat. Rifling through the shop, the gunmen come up empty and decide there's nothing to do but get out.
I want y'all to forget what happened. Might see us anywhere. And if anything happens, See, somebody else sent us in here. Y'all take it easy.
The suspects exit, but issue one last command through the closed door.
Hey. Yeah.
Hold up.
We will.
The officers think that they're out of danger. Suddenly, the gunmen fire 2 shots through the wall. Luckily, neither man is hit, and they dive to the floor for safety.
You hit Jim? No. You hit? I don't know.
Grateful to be alive, the cops stumble to their feet. Outside, the gunmen are chased and captured, and later sentenced to more than 20 years in prison. In Silver Springs, Pennsylvania, a different type of crime and criminal is about to be busted by an undercover sting. This 62-year-old woman, with her back to the camera, was hired by this 83-year-old man to be his caregiver. But over the past 2 years, $10,000 in cash has disappeared. So police have set up a tiny video camera inside his alarm clock to see if she's the culprit. The second that the woman's alone, she answers that question by hunting for his money. She even comes back 2 more times for a thorough search and finally finds the cash. But it's all $100 bills. Perhaps afraid that they'll be easily missed, she doesn't take any of the money this time. Later, when she's finished with her busy day at work, the caregiver has the nerve to accept her salary. She even gives her boss and victim a friendly kiss goodbye. With the proper suspect in their sights, the police arrange a follow-up sting using smaller bills. Once again, the caregiver waits for the man to leave the room and then searches for his cash. She finds what she's looking for in a box of checks and a tin can. She even comes back for a second chance to line her pockets, and then leaves, but not without her affectionate end-of-the-day hug and kiss. With evidence of the theft caught on tape, the caregiver is arrested and pleads guilty of theft, proving that you can never tell who the criminals really are. That's why you need to catch them in the act. Catching crooks on tape stops all kinds of scams in their tracks. Take this amateur wrestler in blue. Would you believe that he was claiming thousands of dollars in workman's compensation due to a wrist injury at the time of this match? And this vacationing firefighter was seeking hundreds of thousands of dollars in disability insurance for a bad back. And this former bartender was after $1 million, claiming that he suffered brain damage during a barroom brawl. These are just 3 out of thousands of would-be crooks filing false insurance claims in the United States every year. They're also the cases that insurance fraud investigator Ted Kerner is determined to bring to justice.
Your house, your car, your clothes, your food, your entertainment, everything you do all day long is 30% higher than it should be because of the costs of insurance fraud.
Often armed with little more than a standard video camera, Kerner tracks his suspects down and waits for them to show their true colors. That's what he did with Biff, our wrestler with the so-called bad wrists. After Biff canceled 3 surgery appointments, his insurance company grew suspicious and called Kerner. The investigator soon finds Biff at this non-televised wrestling event, healthy and happy, and perfecting his flying drop kick.
We went out and found flyers in the neighborhood on the telephone poles for where the event was going to be held, bought tickets, went in and videotaped the whole event.
Biff might have won in the ring, but his insurance scam is down for the count. The fireman with the phony back injury takes Kerner all the way to Hawaii. While posing as a tourist videotaping his vacation, Kerner is able to shoot the rookie scam artist looking anything but permanently disabled.
The film starts with him carrying several large pieces of luggage, including a giant bag on his back and one in each arm, and running off across the airport to go get the rental car. And it deteriorates from there into prolonged snorkeling and playing with his daughter on the beach, and backward somersaults, carrying his daughter up on his shoulders, laughing and smiling, and carrying on like a normal individual in Hawaii for a week.
With this damning evidence on video, the fireman is relieved of his job and prosecuted for his crime. As for the bartender claiming to be brain damaged, Kerner's camera makes sure that the only thing truly damaged is his plan to deceive his insurance company.
He was one step from being permanently retired as 100% disabled, which would have been worth well over $1 million to him in his lifetime.
It's the lure of easy, tax-free money that tempts countless criminals to try and beat the system. Like this man who's collecting disability payments and workman's compensation for a bad back. As he prepares to see his doctor, he pulls a cane from his trunk. The man appears to be just fine. But watch, when he arrives for his appointment, he suddenly becomes disabled and develops a limp. As a result of this video, his next step is into a courtroom. With the number of false claims rising every year, insurance companies and law enforcement have finally joined forces. Now, the Nassau County District Attorney's Office has decided that it's time for stronger actions. Their plan? A massive undercover sting known as Operation Backbone.
Hi, how you doing?
Right with you.
Okay.
Operation Backbone targets the professionals who provide false information on these fraudulent claims. Assistant District Attorney Barbara Kornblau is one of the supervisors of this unique sting.
What we did here that was very unique is for the first time ever, we used undercover officers and agents posing as accident victims who went into the offices and gathered the evidence that we needed.
Armed with tiny video cameras hidden in obscure places such as duffel bags, 12 undercover agents find corruption on every level.
Yes.
From doctors willing to spend only seconds examining a phony patient.
And, all right. That's it. I'll see you forward.
Okay. Thanks.
To lawyers who appear more than willing to compromise their ethics.
I know.
You know, ethics are a very questionable area.
Tell me about it.
You know, what I don't know, what I don't not supposed to know, can't hurt me.
There are even shifty chiropractors giving lessons on how to simulate injuries.
Now, all of these movements and the same ones he's going to do with you with your low back, don't do them quick, fluid, boom, no pain. Slow, guarded movements. Because there's no one to say. Even if the President of the United States testing you, that I can't say that you're not in pain when you're doing this.
During every step of the operation, the threat of discovery is very real. Like this moment, when the doctor unknowingly picks up the very camera that's filming evidence against him.
When he picked up the camera, which is located in the bag, I thought, well, he's going to ask, why is this bag so heavy? And if he opened the bag, I would say, well, this is my camera that I'm going to take to have it repaired.
I'm telling you, they look to get you. They look to get anyone.
Fortunately, the agents escaped detection.
He didn't inquire about what was in the bag. He just gave me the bag, I set it back down, and we proceed to do the same thing we're doing before.
And that's going to be the end of that.
With enough evidence in their possession, 20 professionals involved in billing more than $2 million in false claims are brought to justice.
We have extensively used the videotape evidence before the grand jury. I think the videotape evidence was pivotal in the decision made by many of the defendants to enter a plea of guilty.
Operation Backbone is a success, but the fight to eliminate false insurance claims continues. For anyone tempted to try this get-rich-quick scheme, listen to Ted Kerner.
Be careful when you consider faking an insurance claim. In the modern era, we're going to find out, and a felony conviction as an adult changes the expectations of the rest of your adult life.
For Operation Backbone, investigators went looking for the crooks. But sometimes it's easier to have the suspects come to them. The bride and father in this fake wedding are really undercover police. So is the minister, the groom, the band, and half the guests. The other half are suspected drug dealers who think they've been invited to a real ceremony.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
Join with Deborah.
Join with Deborah.
This ingenious sting is the brainchild of the groom, undercover legend Lacey Moonman Brown.
There's times that you got to do things that are just simply funny. If people got to go to jail, it don't always have to be sad, you know.
He said he's going to need a little sample to show somebody, so oh yeah, but we'll give him a couple of bucks.
The groundwork for the sting begins months earlier with secretly taped meetings of alleged drug deals. Lacey poses as a mid-level dealer in a big organization.
You're going to be able to take the whole load. No, we already got this sold.
We worked our way around the county until we had drug buys into approximately 60 people. We were also developing intelligence information as to who the large-scale drug dealers and potential purchasers were.
Planning to retire, Lacey wants his last sting to be the most memorable. All he needs is a bride.
He called me at home one night, and I answered the phone. He introduced himself, and he said, "Will you marry me?" And I knew what he was getting at.
The couple send out fake invitations to the biggest suspected dealers.
It was like putting together a regular wedding. I mean, we had to come up with vehicles, the hall, food, the cake, you know, and the band.
When the big night finally arrives, a precautionary sign ensures this won't be a shotgun wedding. Lacey enlists real-life news photographers and reporters, such as Dan Schreiner, to capture the ceremony on tape and film.
The bad guys all were very impressed. They all wanted to be there. This was the coolest place in the county that day.
They obviously don't realize that the bees on the wedding cake symbolize the sting that's coming.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I now pronounce they are husband and wife. Let me kiss the bride.
With the ceremony over, the party begins. If the crooked guests realize that the name of the band is Cops spelled backwards, there's an explanation ready that's music to a drug dealer's ears.
Tell them what the T-shirt stands for.
The T-shirt stands for Somebody Protect Our Crop.
But for the suspected dealers, the fun is over.
The band played I Fought the Law and the Law Won, and that was just sort of the cue.
Let's have some fun. Everybody that's here that's a cop, stand up. Okay, all you cops, stand up. Okay, all the rest of you stand up, table, because you're under arrest. This isn't fun.
We're not kidding. We have a warrant for arrest.
I stood up and lifted up my wedding gown and pulled out a gun and grabbed the nearest suspect who was sitting next to me. Told me he was under arrest.
Get up. Get up.
Which sure makes for an unforgettable wedding album.
You could see it in their eyes. There was utter shock.
Is this for real? Yeah.
They thought it was a joke, you know, that it was something that they were doing to be funny, and it was a wedding joke or something. But they found out that it wasn't.
Now we're going to treat you to a night at Jim's bed and breakfast.
With the suspects rounded up, the cops kick off the real celebration for Lacey's last sting.
You get a bigger gun?
It's been fun. I've had a good time. And anytime you can put a doper in jail is great. Let's everybody party and have a good time.
The good guys spend the rest of the night toasting to Lacey's retirement.
Congratulations.
Ironically, 1 year later, the sting results in a real wedding when Debbie, who played the bride, and Vic, the operations commander, tie the knot in a genuine ceremony that goes without a single arrest.
The fake wedding was much more difficult than the real wedding.
Thanks to the ingenuity of Lacey Brown and all his undercover colleagues, nearly $100 grand in cash comes off the streets, and 60 suspected dealers are arrested. No one, least of all the crooks, will ever forget the night the bride wore a pistol. Attempted murder plots, theft, drugs. There's not a crime or a criminal that a successful undercover sting operation can't bring to justice. So forget what you thought you knew about modern-day law enforcement. It's a new era with new rules and new technology and experts that play to win. When it comes to the skill of fighting crime, no one can beat the masters behind the world's most astounding undercover stings.